Thursday, September 10th, 2020, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Things are getting more and more chaotic, very messy. It looks like our leaders are very incompetent everywhere around the world, especially here in the UK. But I think there's another agenda behind the scenes. I think they know what they're doing, the powers that be. But for us, the public, of course, it seems like there's complete incompetence, and that's what I want to talk about today. Before I do that, I like to say I had the pleasure of speaking with Tavi Costa last night of Crescat Capital Asset Management. They're one of the best performing hedge funds or asset managers this year, according to Bloomberg. He happens to be also originally from Brazil. So I not only recommend Tavi's interview yesterday for his views about the world, the economy, the system, but he was also kind enough to tell us which silver exploration mining companies they're putting their money in. A lot of you might be interested in that. I finished publishing it very late London time. He not only talks about precious metals and silver, but about the whole macro view of the world, economic, fiscally, monetarily. I really like the way he sees things. So I recommend the interview. I'm going to put it up in the cards and below in the description. So, things are getting crazy, of course. In the US, we're approaching the elections. There's talk, of course, that if one side wins, they're not going to accept the results. There's talk of that this is going to be like the last election, as we've seen in history, that things are going to be very different. Of course, we got all the social unrest, and here in the UK as well, we've seen that the government is cut the size of how many people can meet in a household from 30 to 6. Everything that's been done seems to be the wrong things to do, right? Economically, especially. I think the UK economy, basically, they're nailing the coffin right now. And in the US as well, even though we've seen the stock markets rise quite a bit since March. Yes, yesterday we had a rebound after a few days of correction lower. I recommend, of course, you listen to Tavi and see what his views are there as well. But you look at the Telegraph this morning, it says Britain's second lockdown will be even more terrible than the first. The new rules will be devastating for the country's social fabric. Not only that, for the economy, I think this is scaring people. And I know there's a lot of those of you out there that think this has been an exaggerated crisis. And I agree. But I think it's more a cover for the whole post 1971 Bretton Woods or non-Bretton Woods system being pulled down. And why do I say that? Well, after '08, the crisis of '08, and the huge amount of stimulus, amount of debt that we had to take on, especially in the UK, in the US, and other European countries, led me to believe that there was no way out of all the debt, because the more debt you incur as well in an economy, especially government debt, but all kinds of debt, the harder it gets for the economy to grow and expand, for prosperity to seep through to all sectors or layers of society. The only sector, of course, that's done well has been the very rich, the top 1%, if you want to call it that. And why is that? Well, because the remedy, which isn't a good remedy, is just trying to fix the symptom with more of the drug that caused, or the stimulus that caused the problem, more debt. And the only people really who benefited from all the cheap debt have been the very wealthy, and that's sucked the wealth out of the middle class, the bottom 50, all those lower layers of society. And yeah, there is no way out. So I think this crisis, of course, is being used as a cover to basically change the game. And if you did it without a huge crisis out there, it would be very difficult to justify all the things they're doing. What's going to come out on the other side in terms of society wise of our freedoms, I don't know. But I hope it's not going to be as bad as some people think. But financially, economically, it's going to be very painful. And I already think it is very painful for many people. But in the long term, I think it's the best thing that can happen. Yes, it looks very chaotic. I agree. And some people might think, how can we trust people who seem to not know what they're doing to fix things? But I think personally, just wrecking this system, the kind of economy we've had, especially for the last 25, 30 years, of based on just debt, borrowing, consumption, very little production of real things. I think it's a good thing in the long term. Yes, it's going to be painful, but we all need to adapt, unfortunately. There are those, of course, out there who won't be able to adapt. They will suffer quite a bit. And who knows, we might suffer as well. We can't be too conceited about these things. We just need to keep our heads down, I think. And I'm here just to, of course, give you my opinion. And nothing's changed. Even before this crisis started, years ago, or even, 20 years ago or more, my view has always been that one needs to live within their means. One needs to have a budget, a household budget, and make sure that your outgoings are less than your income. That's what economics is all about. That's where the word comes from in Greek, household, keeping your household. And as a society, as government, as a whole, we haven't done that for, I would say, since 1971. It's been really bad after Nixon took the world off the anchor, monetary anchor of gold. It's benefited the very wealthy, of course, but it's really hurt the middle class, especially, also the working class, even more throughout the Western world, the United States and the UK. And I don't think it's any coincidence that it's the UK and the US that seem to be bungling this crisis. We seem to have a lot of division. In the UK, we've got the Brexit fiasco going on. In the US, we've got left versus right, red and blue. I mean, the division is huge, but it makes sense that all the chaos is really centered on the US and the UK and somewhat in Europe, because the US and the UK have been running this post World War II system. You want to call it Pax Americana, or the Anglo-American financial empire as well. So there you go. That's what I think is happening. It is disturbing what's going on, but I think we need to have faith that people, in the end of the day, will adapt and things will get better. Of course, there will be a huge hangover, I think, starting next year. But the other problem as well is that we've tried as societies through the policies of the central bankers, the politicians, and we've allowed that to happen through our democratic system. We've had a system where we don't want to see failure, and we want to always see success. And that has been represented by all the bailouts, trying to stop recessions, or even worse than recessions, through interference. So I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to pay for that. And that's what's going on right now. So Just wanted to put that out there. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much. It's almost 10 to 9 London time this morning. We've seen silver break through a key resistance earlier on today. We got up to 27.24. I think 27.15 is a key level. It didn't hold above that level. Right now it's back to around 27. It's up about 5 cents. That's spot silver. Gold is at 19.45, down about $1. High's been 1951.50 and the low 1942. So that's the precious metals this morning. The Dow futures down about 61 right now. S&P down about 9, and the NASDAQ 100 future down about 38. So the stock markets are down a little bit. The currencies, the British pound right now is up about 0.08%, just above 130. So fairly quiet here. We saw the euro yesterday rally quite strongly. We're at 118.25, up about 0.2. There is an ECB meeting today. They are expected to maybe announce more stimulus going forward, monetary that is, of course. We've got the dollar down about 1/8% versus the yen at 106.03. WTI crude is down about 1% at 37.87. The US 10-year yield is down about 2 basis points at 0.68. So yesterday we saw yields rise about 4 basis points back up to around 0.7. So we've now come back down to 0.68. I think in terms of key levels, I would say 0.6 is a key support in terms of yield, and above 0.75. So pretty wide range there. So there you go. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and all these other platforms below here. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.